with a man who needs no introduction, the brainchild behind id Software, Todd Hollingshead, CEO. Thank you so much for taking time to be with us today.
My pleasure. I didn't get dressed up for nothing.
And we are here with Enemy Territory, Quake Wars behind me. This is pretty exciting. Everyone seems pretty jazzed to be playing. What's the response been so far?
It's been pretty enthusiastic. We got a big line. Of course, we're trying to get a lot of people through, but one of the focuses of our show this year with Enemy Territory is actually to get people down and play the game and play through a whole scenario. So it's kind of a big risk. We got, the full 24 people going on, and it's a multiplayer environment. You never know really what's going to happen. So, but it's gone real well for us so far. For E3 this year, we have a new scenario, which is the Valley map, and I think we have a lot more in terms of the fleshed out of what you actually do in the game. As we get close to release later this year, we really are trying to incorporate all the things that we've promised to incorporate into the game. The elements that make Enemy Territory Quake Wars unique and different, beyond just sort of the team play, multiplayer gameplay experience, are that you have two completely different sides playing one another. So it's not just like you have one side that has these 5 character classes and another side that has the same 5 character classes, but they just have different, paint on, different texture. There really are two separate teams. So the GDF on the Earth side, you have engineers, you have medics, you have field ops. They do one thing, get to carry one sort of weapon, sort of set in kind of a near future, 50 or 60 years in the future, but sort of conventional weapons players are going to be familiar with. But on the other side, the alien Strogg, they're completely different. They have all energy-based or gravity manipulation weapons, rail guns, hyper blasters, futuristic alien weapons. Their vehicles are based on gravity manipulation and different. You have the big Titan tank on the GDF side, but sort of the corollary on the Strogg side is a big heavy Goliath walker. So that interaction between two separate teams and two different abilities, not only from the players and the weapons they use, but also the vehicles that they control, really give a unique take on what team play gameplay is like.
BF2 has definitely taken over the pro circuit by storm. Do you see this game playing a similar role in the pro circuit?
Well, I think it poses interesting challenges sort of as a professionally played game, because the two sides are different and because the gameplay is centered on objectives, that as you play through a given scenario, the objectives change and who is important to capture an objective may change. And so the maps aren't necessarily intended to be perfectly balanced to where one side or the other side can overpower the other, at least in different points, through different aspects of the objectives. So, with the asymmetrical combat, it does, I think, present an interesting challenge for professional games. But with stopwatch mode, where you switch teams and then try to do the same thing over within, and basically beat the time, I do think that it poses something that should be interesting, because now it's just not like who can do the engineer class the best. They have to do the engineer side on the GDF, but then they have to be the constructor on the Strogg side, which plays differently. Well, right now we're focused on the PC, and that's all we're showing here. I mean, I do think that with what Microsoft has done with their online component on 360, and obviously with, I think, Sony taking a few lessons from that and what they promised to do with PS3 and their online component as well, it does pose an interesting topic for us. But I really still believe that PC is absolutely the king of online play, and so that's why you see Enemy Territory Quake Wars here at the show.
So for everyone out there, we need the world famous answer. When is this game going to be ready?
Well, this one, I have to modify it a little bit, because we've actually gone out on a limb and say it's going to be done this year in 2006, but yes way. but ultimately it'll be done when it's done, but we feel like that we know we have a visibility as to when the game's going to be ready. We do feel confident that it's going to be done this year. But ultimately, I do have to say the caveat is that if it comes down to it, and we're just don't feel like that the game is ready to ship by the end of the year, we're not going to just ship it unfinished. I mean, I think that it's too much fun, and the stuff that you're doing in the game, the goals are too high, and we're not going to compromise on them. We're going to make sure that when the game is out, that it is the experience that we want people to have when they play it.
Enemy Territory Quake Wars.